Hello, you guys. Welcome. Happy Monday, Geraldine.
Hi, Larry. Welcome, everybody. Happy Monday. Hi, Spider.
Isn't he doing well? Thank you so much for helping with him.
Of
Yeah.
course.
In fact, while he's doing so well, we'll get him started on his busy box right now while you tell the folks about what we're doing all week this week.
Sure. And before we jump into this week's plan, just a little tidbit on or a little caveat on the Spider training, retraining of Spider or repositioning, I'll say. It's really important that we all understand that school doesn't end. Once the training ends, well, training never ends. Let me rephrase that. It's really training every day, and it's in different ways, but we really keep that education up our whole lives, and we keep our dogs training up every day as well.
Yeah, really, really well said. And I have to remind myself of that I regard that every walk is a training opportunity, and really every day, everything is an opportunity for training or untraining.
Correct. Or untraining. But we're going to jump into some really neat types of training today, some necessary, some very relevant types of training today, which is thunderstorm and fireworks training. I was just on the phone last week with Dr. Chris Hansen of Earth Animal, and he and I had a fantastic chat about all the ways that we've used in his veterinarian practice and my behavior training practice to be able to change pets' minds that are afraid of thunderstorms and fireworks.
Yes.
So we have some great tips and tricks and suggestions and really some insight into how the whole process works for a pet to help you understand where they operate from.
Well, let's get right into it. In addition to it being our look at Spider, he's back. In addition to it being 4th of July holiday pet safety week on Dog Hugs, it is also National Pet Preparedness Month. So
yes, so being prepared really matters, obviously. And if you're only just starting today preparing your pet for thunderstorms and 4th of July, that's okay. Start today. But if you have the opportunity to start sooner, start now for next year and start implementing some of the suggestions that we offer today, because I think that that's a really great way not only to give you a project to work on, but help you feel better about it. Because my first lesson is calm thyself first. It's really, really important that you calm yourself about the whole scenario. Even if you have a dog that shreds walls and tears up mini blinds or plantation shutters, or even literally chews themselves out of their crate in a way they injure themselves, calm yourself about it first, because there is an answer. I can tell you I've seen some of the worst of the worst with all types of animals, not just cats and dogs, and there is an answer to help bring them back to a normal.
I am so glad you mentioned that. As I'm learning about Spider, I realize he understands me better than I thought. Come here, buddy. A week and a half ago, I had some dental work done. And you folks may have noticed I wasn't on the show that day. And when I came home, Spider was like extra loving to me. It was even odd for this little guy.
Well, it wasn't odd to me. It tells me that he absolutely could smell what was happening in the biochemistry of your system. And it really, really matters that we understand that not only is their smeller really great, but so is their ears and their sense of pressure. And I'll give you an example. When the storms start approaching us, they feel that barometric pressure. We do too, if we're in tune with it, but also if we have an injury. Maybe you have a new knee, or you have had some type of surgery, and you can always tell when that barometric pressure change happens. Yeah. And you go, a storm must be coming because my knee is starting to hurt. That one.
Here.
It's the same thing for pets. So they feel that coming towards them, even if they haven't had an injury. That's how in tune they are with nature. And they had to be, because they do to take shelter. So that's an instinctual way of being able to function out in their atmosphere. So in this case, we have then now we layer on top of that fireworks, and then we layer on top of that a stressed out human, and then the dog just doesn't know what to do.
Yes.
And they can also smell the stress that we were discussing, the cortisol smell. So that sends them into a world of crazy.
Yeah. I really appreciate your saying that. I'm going to go talk to Spider in the other room.
Perfect.
And why don't you talk to the folks for a little bit?
Sure. We're going to discuss not only the calming of thyself, but what that really means, because it's we could get into a fight or flight moment that our bodies, it's just not fair to our bodies to do that, because we really don't have that going on. So if you're honest with yourself and you realize and you look around and go, I'm okay, everything's fine, then just sit down and take 6 big deep breaths. Just take and make them big belly breaths. So, take a big deep breath in and let that out and get back. And what that does is it changes the hormonal balance in your system and helps you feel like you're fine and you're protected and you're able to protect. And then you smell like a protector to your pet instead of being full of cortisol and your pet going, ah. And let's talk about smell for just a second. For a while, I worked in an emergency room on purpose. I wanted to understand the sense of smell. And it was right after I had finished my biochemistry degree. And I asked where the doctors.
For humans?
Yes, in an emergency room for humans. And I asked the doctors to please pull me into a room when somebody was there that had a disease that had overwhelmed their body so much that you could physically smell it when you walked in the room. So I smelled diabetes. I won't go down the whole list, but the one that shocked me the most was cancer. I can actually pick up on the smell of cancer myself now, which is a very scary thing. And I can understand how dogs can smell cancer or infections and why they get.
Oh, Geraldine is having some connectivity issues. While she's getting back on, I'll remind folks, if you saw our show on the dog's nose is structured completely differently. Well, completely better or more detailed than ours. Geraldine, I was just telling the folks about reminding them how the dog's nose is structured, that in addition to having more smell receptors going in, they have a whole mechanism just before the air gets processed into the brain to help sort out and define and really understand those pheromones, those real subtle smells, even better than we can, because we don't have that gland. And
Correct.
In addition to that, there are slits on side of the dog's nose. Maybe you've noticed this, and that's where the dog goes out and where the air goes out. So it means that those extra receptors that they have are also just for bringing, experiencing air as it comes in, not as it comes back out quite as much. And, and these are for getting rid of the air. So it's a really amazing mechanism, the dog's nose.
It is. It's so amazing. So that's just a tidbit on how like perceptive they are to what's going on around them, not just storms, but us. So first step is to calm yourself. Once again, unless your dog is really going and doing some serious damage, then that's when I send you straight to a veterinarian. We sit down and we work with, and that's the type of dogs I worked with, were the ones that would chew walls and break out of crates. So helping them find that balance. But I had to be calm. If I was not calm, it was never going to work. And then moving forward to protecting your house next. So you've got yourself calm, and we kind of know where our dog is. Like I said, if your dog has extreme issues, then contact us and we'll help you get the help you need. If your dog has some minor issues or an issue that's not injuring the pet, then what I like you to do next is make sure that you've secured your property. Your fences are fine, your windows are fine. Dog proof your house. Get things up that you've touched a lot, like your shoes, your glasses, your remote controls, your dish towels, your washcloths, even some of your hand towels and bath towels in your bathrooms. I just make sure a lot of that stuff's all collected and put away during these storms and fireworks times, because that's something that a pet will want to chew on, helps them with their anxiety, but also it's right there. And if they do chew some of that off and swallow that, that's a $5,000 surgery. And again, that's them chewing up your wallet from us not being prepared. And I'm more proactive in my heart. I like to make sure I circumvent those issues before they even get a chance to happen, because that's
Before
really
they
big.
attack your wallet.
Before they attack your wallet,
Yeah.
things that smell. Once again, there's that smell factor, and the reason why their nose and their ears have all of that added benefit is because it's all been taken away from their taste buds. They have 1,500 taste buds. We have 9,000. So nature took all of those receptors and put them in other places to help them survive. And also, I think it's because that allowed them to eat roadkill back in the day. So just in case.
We want to
Right?
welcome our other co-host, Robbie, back with us this week. Robbie is monitoring the Facebook chat with you folks. And here's an article that she wrote, an excellent article on preparing pets for summer storms. And as Robbie says, our dogs can really sense our moods and they can sense the changes in the weather. Excellent point.
Definitely. And thank you, Robbie, and welcome back, sister.
Yeah.
Welcome back, soul sister.
When you calm yourself, you can calm your pet. True that.
Yeah. It's paramount in both of your lives, because then you can have a better relationship, better communication, in a better time, because you want, and a longer amount of time, because you'll both live longer. So once you get into a place where you feel like you have your house set up properly in terms of being a safe space, then have your pet help you find a safe space for them to dwell. Now that safe space might be on your lap. That safe space might be a closet. It might be a bathroom, small bathroom, laundry room, their kennel. It might be underneath a piece of furniture somewhere. Some people's pets prefer to be under their bed. I know my Yorkie Poo loves to hide under my bed during certain times, or in his kennel. He's perfectly fine, either of those two places. So have them show you where that safe space is, and then make it better, make it more comfy. And then I start training them in that safe space. I like to play classical music. It's very relaxing for pets. Studies have already shown that. You can play really anything. You can even have a recording of your own voice saying things, because that's very calming for your pet.
That's clever.
Mm-hmm. And I like to train them with that prior, and we'll talk about that later in another day this week. But I like to do that in general for separation anxiety, and that's going to be a lesson we're going to go.
Yeah, there goes Geraldine again. So what's new to me about this is to play my own voice. What would you want to say to your pet if you were to play your own voice? Let us know in the text chat. Well, Geraldine's already back.
We have a storm going on, so that's why my internet is going to be a little nutty.
Well, I want to say hello to a few of our audience members, and Veronica, our friend from Mexico City. Great to see you there. Miss you guys too, Veronica. Please give my regards to all the folks in Bravo Perro, and really, really great to have you with us today, Veronica. And Mauricio is saying, I'm so lucky that Bianca Sanchez and Cielo Sanchez can care less. Oh, Bianca and Cielo, I think, are your pets. Can care less about fireworks or stuff like that. They just sleep through the night. You are lucky, Mauricio.
Very. That's wonderful.
All fur babies. Well said, Gayla. That's great. Who else is here?
Nice.
Nandu, hi. Great to see you here today. Yeah.
Hi, Nandu.
Yeah. All right. Where were we?
So where we were was creating that safe space for them, allowing them to show you where that safe space is, or maybe you have one for them already, and then training them in that space to be even more calm. So I like to use classical music. I love a couple of tidbits. I'd love to give them a nice warm bath right before maybe something crazy is going on, because that bath helps calm them.
Huh.
warm water, you're massaging them with shampoo and maybe conditioner. Maybe you're being smart this time of year and using a flea and tick repellent, like an herbal shampoo, and it smells really good. So it smells good for you. It'll have some lavender in it, very calming.
Is rosemary, well, rosemary is alerting, making alert. I know my
Yes.
herbal shampoo for spider, the flea remedy, has rosemary in it. Is that counter the lavender? Because he does
So
get amped up after a bath.
So there are different types. Some do have rosemary in them, and yes, I depending on your pet, I'll choose the type of your pet's attitude and focus. I'll choose something that's a little bit more calming at night, and then find something if it's if I'm giving him in a bath in the morning, which I usually do the baths at night. Something that will help him calm at night. So if I want him revved up for something, I definitely look for something with rosemary in it. And I don't have that in front of me right now, but I'm going to double check and see. Uh,
I'll check into that as well.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Chamomile,
And
I
then,
know, can be very soothing for the skin. Is it also soothing for the
oh
internal
yes,
being?
I drink chamomile tea quite often because I've told you I was born a border collie. So I wake up in the morning going, what needs to get done? How am I going to do this? My poor husband. So I drink sleepy time tea when I wake up. I drink sleepy time tea for breakfast, and I'm not kidding. I'm literally that ready, just boop, bounce out of bed. Have been that way since birth. And I believe it's because my parents took me camping a lot. And when you camp a lot, you have to be ready to go at any moment.
Yeah.
We always had animals.
I want to put this comment on screen. This is Thomas from Bangladesh. My Fifi can understand my eye contact and she responds quickly. I don't know how she understood. Thomas, I'm so glad you're back with us. I want to find out more of how you treated those 26 dogs for parvovirus without going to a veterinarian. We could learn a lot from you, Thomas.
Mhm.
So please reach out to us on that. That's what an incredible story, man.
Yes, and you're talking about Fifi's eye contact, Thomas. Fifi is looking at your facial expressions, reading your what's going on with you, and also smelling what's going on with you biochemically. That's how she understands. And I mean, there are many examples, but for right now, we'll leave it at that. I'll go into some more of those later because that's a really great subject of how they understand you.
Great. Thanks so much, Thomas.
Thank you, Thomas. Any more comments? Okay, so let's jump right into calming them around that safe space.
Okay.
Using lavender, music, chamomile. There's many different ways that you can think about the delivery systems of how you can give them. You can give them chamomile tea as their water. You could literally steep some chamomile tea and then cool it down and then give that to your pups as their drinking water. So that's a way for them to ingest chamomile right away.
Does it need to be more dilute?
No, I mean, yeah, you're going to add more water to it so it's palatable for them because it might be too strong for them for their nose if it's concentrated, but it's not going to hurt them. They're not going to overdose on chamomile tea. So if it were too concentrated, it would not hurt them, but I would dilute it definitely until you find their palatability level. That's just an example. There are many other ways. There are treats with chamomile. There are many different ways to do that, but I like to go natural first and help them with the natural route. The other part of that is you can use all the products in the world, and there are some more products we'll talk about, but the truth of the matter is, how do you calm them physically? Because you're giving them stuff, but just because you give them lavender doesn't mean they're going to go, ooh, it smells nice in here. I think I'll take a nap. Oh, heck with that storm. It's not going to happen, right?
No.
You actually have to over exercise them, give them a little bit more mental and physical exercise than you currently are. And even if you are exercising them, I mean, change it up. So here's an example. If I had your pet at my house and I was boot camping it for this anxiety, I would have somebody at the top of the stairs and I would be at the bottom of the stairs, and I would have your pet going up and down the stairs. And when they would get to me, it would be whatever tricks they know: sit, lay down, roll over, shake, back up the stairs. Same thing in a different order for whoever's at the top of the stairs assisting me.
playing
Back and forth.
the game that I call come and go, and you have a different name for it? Remind me the name you call that game?
I call it switcheroo.
Switcheroo. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So a little extra of that, because then your pet goes, well, what? What was that? And then your pet goes, I think I am tired now. I'll take that chamomile tea bedside. Thank you. So an example of how you can be
one person.
Say that again.
Do that with Spider with one person.
Oh, so what I
go and come back.
So what I do with one person is I have Spider go upstairs, start upstairs, and I have him come down, and then I have him do his tricks. I ask him to stay, then I go up the stairs, and then I have him stay. Then I ask him to come up the stairs when I'm ready. Teaches him some self-containment, listening to my cue, etc. So it can be done with one person.
That would tire me out. I'll sleep well.
Why do you think I stay so skinny? I'm always going up and down the stairs all the time. So that's a really great tip, is to wear them out more. And if it's raining or whatever, just use your staircase, or there are many other ways. I mean, I'll use a step stool. I'll have him go on and off my mantle. I'll have him go do figure eights around my stools in my kitchenette, in my bar area of my kitchen. So there are many things at home you can do to help add that little bit of exercise. And that's a huge one. Also, teach them how to calm down. Many people don't realize that all they do is rev up their dog, and they go, why won't my dog ever calm down? Give him a break.
Yeah.
And train him what it feels like to be calm, so he'll like it, and then he'll want to go there.
Is there more that you want to say about that? There
is a little. You should have one of those breaks scheduled in your day, every day, for your pet. And if you don't, you're actually robbing your pet of.
Oh, there goes Geraldine again. She'll be back. While she's coming back, we had a couple of other comments come in. And Thomas, great. We'll reach out to you. We really are very quite keen to hear how you do this. Randy, ARF, and ARF to you too, Randy. You know, I use those initials, ARF, to stand for what I stand for. And A is for advocacy, meaning we're advocating on behalf of dogs through the Dog Hugs show and through all that we do to help dogs have a better life and build our bond in a more celebratory and empowering way. R is for readiness, and that means training, and training in a positive way. And F is for fun. And of course, dogs embody fun with every ounce of their waggy being. Yeah, and Geraldine is back. Good.
Sorry about
that. I mean, that's okay. Randy said ARF. And so I was telling them, as you and I have discussed, we've talked about Tony La Russa's ARF. Tony La Russa, the Hall of Fame? Well, the famed baseball manager. If he's not Hall of Fame already, he's soon to be Hall of Fame.
He's already Hall of Fame, I believe.
He is Hall of Fame. He has a foundation called ARF. And I was sharing with Randy and the folks that, as you know, part of my platform is ARF, advocacy, readiness, fun. Yeah, thanks. Oh, and Thomas came back. He says we're going to connect with him and find out how he treated 26 dogs for essentially, you know, something equivalent to COVID, you know, the parvo virus. Yeah, and I never treat my dogs like dogs. I always talk to them, you know, never have their color. I'm missing something here.
I'm going to assume he means he doesn't discriminate, or maybe they don't understand because they never have their color also. That could be.
Well said, yeah.
Also, a little tip about parvo. I'm not advocating by any means that anyone ever try to heal parvo on their own. However, I've successfully healed parvo on my own with natural means. I don't suggest it, once again, but I'm not going to tell anyone no if they are presented with the opportunity. Just be very safe and educate yourself about what you're doing.
Yeah.
And also, one other point is integrating different modalities is the success tool for thunderstorm and firework redirection of attention. And we're going to go into quite a few of those over the next 4 days.
Yeah, really
Absolutely.
a whole week on this, Geraldine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it'll help. And we hope to help all of you. We hope that there's something you take away, especially with tomorrow. We're going to have Arden Moore on tomorrow, which is going to be amazing. And what I'm looking forward to is, many years ago, someone taught me how to use a strip of felt as a muzzle for an injured dog, just in case you come upon a dog who's injured, how you could muzzle them with something on your body. So I used to always carry something with me. And she told me, Geraldine, you can always use your tennis shoe lace. And I went, oh, never thought about that. And I always wear tennis shoes when I dog train for that reason. Always wear tennis shoes. So I have that shoelace just in case something happens and I need to muzzle a dog. So she's going to be great.
Oh yeah. Really excited about having Arden on the show tomorrow. She is truly one of the heroes of the dog world. And
she's fantastic.
Yeah, she has inspired me ever since I've been part of it. So really excited to have her with us tomorrow. Great.
And go ahead, Larry.
What's next? I mean, you know so much about fireworks safety and emergency preparedness, Geraldine. And, far be it from me to direct this. So I'm, all week, G-Dog is going to lead us into safety.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess the best takeaway from today is to find that safe space and learn to and practice calming yourself. One of my tips has always been, when you go to sleep at night, if there's something bothering you, write it down or talk into a voice record, and then allow the bed to hold you up. So many people do not allow the bed to hold them up. They like hold themselves up all night long, and they don't just let the bed hold them and let physics work and gravity work for them for a change. So if there's one takeaway, start there. And then the second thing is, start making some noise around your house a little bit while your pets are eating. I like to use pans around my house that I have, like bowls that you use in your kitchen.
Yeah. Oh, there she goes again. So, I've started doing that with Spider, and I even touch him and just make other sounds while he's eating. That's a great freeze frame. She'll be back. So, so in various ways, I'm helping Spider to acclimate to the various sounds. Geraldine had recommended classical music as a calming sound, and the opposite, to get a dog used to noisy sounds. I'll play some thrashing hard rock, but turning it up to 2 first, not quite to 11 yet. So, I'll go with that. Some other things that she has on the list here that I'm looking at are make popsicles. Oh, that's fun. And favorite chews that are sometimes frozen. So what she's talking about with popsicles are to take a Kong, and I'm going to go over from the laundry lounge into the studio and get here a Kong. So this is an example of a Kong toy. You see, it's hollow here, and you can stuff things right into it, put it directly into the freezer. And if you don't have a Kong, something else that that your dog could then try to get the frozen food out of. And oh, good, Geraldine's back, and I'm talking about popsicles.
Perfect. Yay! I love popsicles.
So what would you put, just or as you ordinarily stuff a Kong, or would you do something different? Yeah.
During these times, you really want to make it your dog's meal. So you want to actually take their food and soak it in water, warm water, till it's mushy, not soupy, but mushy. Stuff it. I put it in a glass and then put it in the freezer so it doesn't drip down your freezer. And then, or bag, some kind of containment apparatus, and then I pull them out one at a time and use that to feed them with to help them be so focused on that. Plus, it's cold, it's hot outside right now. It's a really great distractionary tool for them. Keeps them busy mentally, makes them work for their food.
So in some ways, you don't even necessarily stuff it into this. You just have these frozen discs.
No, I actually stuff it into that and freeze it in the Kong. That way they have to hold it and chew and work for it. So no, I actually literally stuff the Kong or the Bionic, or I mean, there's many other types. Red Barn makes a bone that in fact, I think I have one of those here.
Yeah.
I'll even, for a smaller amount, I'll just stuff the ends of a Red Barn bone with
Nice.
that, and then freeze that. So that's a really great way to give them the calories that they're normally going to have for breakfast, and then give them an added challenge to work for it. Kind of like a busy box in a way, only this is a little tougher for them to get to.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, there she goes again. She and I had a meeting over the weekend to plan the week, and all throughout our meeting, her screen was freezing. So at least this is a more flattering freeze frame than the last one. She also has on her list some other favorite chews that can be frozen. I was just telling the folks some other favorite chews that can be frozen, and maybe that's what you were just describing as well.
Yes, there's so many options out there, and we'll discuss a few of those options during the week. I prefer to start with their treats first, because if you don't have a way to get their motivation, say for instance, food doesn't work, you can only use a toy, or toys don't work, you can only use treats. Then if you can give them a chance to maybe get a little hungry, meaning cut back on the treats during the day and cut their food down to maybe half of what it was the night.
Oh, there she goes again. Cut the food down to half of what it was and replace that with these various new treats. So that's something that, as we move toward the 4th of July, that's something, even if your dog might not have an aversion to fireworks, it's worth considering doing that as a practice. So in case there are other aversive types of situations, you have a go-to that you can go to. I was suggesting to the folks that they could even try this protocol this week, even if their dog doesn't currently have an aversion to loud noises.
Oh yeah, this is a great, just a way of being. So it's not required that your pet dislike thunderstorms, etc. And also being prepared for things is something every pet owner should understand and really be ready for any scenario, because what if you're walking your pet down the trail and you've come upon a pet who's injured? Then it's nice to be able to help that pet the right way, even if that means keeping people away while you grab help, or maybe you have some tools with you in your car. I mean, it's really amazing what you can do. But once again, smart moves, making the right common sense choices to help.
Great. Are there more that we want to cover today, or we're going to wait until we got Arden with us tomorrow?
The only thing that we will definitely discuss for 2 seconds is there are lots of options out there. So if you're going to go out and buy a bunch of stuff, you don't want to use it all at once. Integrating means slowly adding things together. It doesn't mean you give them CBD and you put a thunder shirt on, and then you give them lavender after you gave them a hot bath, and you don't layer too many things at once, or else.
No, otherwise your dog is going to get all mixed up and could even become more anxious because, the whole reality of life has changed, and suddenly we have a whole new set of rules that we're not used to. So that's a really good point that she makes. And again, reminding folks, tomorrow we have with us Arden Moore, and she is America's Pet Health and Safety Coach. She's the best of the best. Really excited to have Arden with us tomorrow. So I'm going to get right into the shelter shout out. And my shelter shout out today goes to the Humane Society of Southern Arizona. Perhaps you've heard on the news that right now Southern Arizona is really in a very, very big challenge with COVID right now. and my friends at the Humane Society of Southern Arizona in Tucson are really, really challenged right now. So a big shout out and a blessing to them. Send them some good thoughts to hssaz.org. So really big shout out to those folks. Geraldine looks like she'll be back with us in a moment, and I know that she has a shelter shout out to share with you all as well. My blessing and gratitude today goes to my whole family. Every Thursday, we do a family call. It's a really wonderful way for us to stay together. And I'm just so grateful to, in quarantine, be able to have my family who's spread across the country to share with every Thursday. So love you all. Let's see. Don't quite have Geraldine back. I think she's coming back. Let me see if she's texted me on my phone. No, she must be trying to get back with us. So we have some other comments, and Geraldine is back with us. Hi there, Geraldine. I just did my shelter shout out and my gratitude for today. Who do you got?
Wonderful. Well, so the group that I'd like to shout out to today is actually out of Grandview, Missouri, and they are a group of veterinarians that provide services and adoption, some behavioral work and adoptions for pets that qualify. It's called Hard Luck Hounds. I think it's an amazing little organization that does some amazing work out here in Missouri. So thanks everyone from.
Oh, there she goes again. So close. We almost made it to the end of the show. She's going to come back. Oh, you're back. You're back. You faked me out there.
I did. I think a storm might have taken one of our towers out or something in the neighborhood. So we're just having a hard time with our Wi-Fi connection. So my apology in advance, but thanks for hanging in there with us because we do have a really great week.
We have such a great audience. They understand us. And we have a rule, behind the scenes, got to make a mistake. It's required.
It is, definitely. Gratitude. So my gratitude is going to go out to all of the veterinarians right now. Their hearts are torn in half. They know how hard it is, how much work it takes to help change behavior. And they also know how some pets just are not in that space yet. And for them to actually write prescriptions to pets for sedatives is really hard on them. And it's not easy for them. It's not easy for their heart when they know those pets are under so much stress. So my heart goes out to all the veterinarians out there that are trying to help, and the veterinarian behaviorists that are really trying to make a dent. They're trying to come out with calming everythings to try to help the situation. So thank you.
Yeah, beautifully said. Yeah. Well, and of course, our gratitude to you and blessings to you guys. And we can't wait to see you tomorrow. And to Robbie, thank you so much for doing all the Facebook work that you were doing to engage the folks along with us. And again, great sharing this time with you folks. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Okay.